When your motivation is not high, your commitment, determination and passion are tested. You become aware that your worthwhile goal will remain just that, unless you get motivated and stay motivated to achieve it. Despite having lost the motivation to work on your important goal, chances are you will remain actively engaged in accomplishing other unrelated targets. However, despite the accomplishments, you continue to feel dissatisfied and unfulfilled because your most worthy goal remains untouched and unattained. What is our primary goal nowadays? It is to live, and to live well, to live better than ever. This goal requires innovation. It needs to expand the limits which surround our lives. Without motivation, we would not leave our beds. We wouldn't strive to find better solutions. Without motivation, we would have nothing. Motivation is the call to action. It is the thing that forces one to take the right attitude. My recommendation is to understand motivation and the general determinants preventing you from your total acceptance of your goals. Know the ways in which you could become the best version of yourself. This question, how can I get myself more motivated, is a huge stumbling block for a lot of people, and it certainly was for me. However, once you understand how motivation actually works, things will become a lot easier. And you will find out inside this course. Motivation is in a continuous change. It comes and goes, and there is little we can do about it in the way of applying mental processes to it. Trying to get motivated is, simply put, a wild goose chase. The questions are then, how can we feel more motivated more often and for longer time periods once that feeling comes over us? And second, what are we supposed to do during the times when we don't feel it? The solution is the temporal motivation theory. This stands out for an equation, the equation of motivation. Expectancy times value divided by impulsiveness times delay. Basically, you want expectancy and value to be as large as possible, and you want impulsiveness and delay to be as reduced as possible. So, what each of these terms represents? Expectancy. This is how likely you think you are to achieve a particular goal. By adjusting the goal, making it easier to reach, or by building your confidence, you can increase your expectancy and thus increase your motivation. Second, value. This is how much the outcome means to you. By reflecting on your goals and what they actually mean to you, what pleasure and meaning you will get out of reaching them, and adjusting them to make them more valuable to you. Therefore, you can increase your motivation. Next, impulsiveness. This is how likely you are to get off track when being distracted by various shiny objects. By working on strengthening your willpower and by removing and reducing distractions, you can increase your motivation. And the last concept, delay. This is how far into the future the reward or outcome lies. Have you ever felt slightly more motivated by, for example, studying for an exam that is tomorrow than for one that is in 1 month, for example? By designing goals with the short term in mind, or by breaking down your long-term goals into sequential short-term goals and then shift your focus to this, you can increase your motivation. Did you notice how things that of establishing behaviors that run on autopilot, so that desirable tasks and actions get carried out whether we feel like doing them or not? While habits in itself is a big subject and a topic for another course, if you can shift your focus from trying to get yourself motivated to identifying the smallest specific habit that is required for you to reach your goals, you will already have come a long way. An example of how to do this would be to shift focus from getting motivated to go to the gym early in the morning to actually starting to do the first and smallest step of that process and set a goal to make that a new habit. As an example, this could be to take out your gym clothes the night before and put them next to your bed. That is much easier to do, and once you get into the habit of doing it, the next step of the process, such as getting dressed for the gym, will be a lot easier as well, whether you actually get to the gym or not right now. Motivation theory, telling that motivation represents expectancy times value divided by impulsiveness times delay. Your main goal is to push expectancy and value as large as possible and reduce impulsiveness and delay as much as possible. And in the end, we've discussed the idea of habits. What you need to do is to shift your focus from trying to get yourself motivated to identifying the smallest specific habit that is required for you to reach your goal or your goals. Alright, now it is the time to make the difference. Your next holiday. In this case, your underlying motivation for getting more clients will not be affected because you genuinely love getting in contact with people on a daily basis. However, this needs to be done with attention because people will get used to expect such bonuses. Next, recognition can help build internal motivation. Researchers have discovered that giving positive recognition and feedback when people do something greater in comparison to others can improve internal motivation. Internal motivation will fade, however, when external rewards are given for accomplishing a particular task or only doing minimal work. For example, if parents excessively praise their child every time she achieves a simple task, she will become less internally motivated to do that task in the future. In the end, what happens if we lose our motivation? Without motivation, one cannot move forward. Basically, your hometown becomes your only town. Your first job becomes your only job. Lack of motivation leads nowhere. But this lack of push does not result in lack of feeling. Emotion is the vibration behind the loss of motivation. These sensations come in forms of fear of failure, stress, fear of the unknown, and low self-esteem. If you cannot work through these emotions, you cannot build a solid motivational soil. And without this soil and accumulated goals, failure goes in. You can feel a lack as the past few years of one's life went toward nothing. Remember this, lost years don't come back, but the feelings of failure remain. Fortunately, these feelings of lack can be the main reason to drive your motivation. Good use of feelings is important. Work on the business activity you dreamt about, but you never took action. Ask yourself why you never thought to go to the gym, for example. Understand that there is a whole world out there waiting for you. You need to claim it. Alright, the first strategy. The motivational power of having a goal. A very powerful technique is to set to yourself important goals and objectives. These goals could be either short-term ones about an upcoming exam or long-term goals about the achievements you want to reach during your studies in the university. Objectives and goals are one of the best sources of motivation as they will keep you focused and enable you to do whatever it takes to accomplish your goals. Furthermore, cleverly chosen objectives will inspire you to greater heights, allowing you to reach your real potential. A very positive side effect of a great goal is that it will drastically increase your perseverance. Here are some important tips for goal setting. Write your goals down. Avoid vagueness, negations and necessities. Split complex goals into primary targets and sub-goals. State how you intend to achieve your goal. Visualize the accomplishment of your objective and what it feels like. Reward yourself once the goal is reached. The next tip, gratification. Reward yourself. Personally, I don't consider the act of rewarding yourself once a goal is accomplished as a motivational technique for students. However, the positive effect that a gratification can have on your motivation to study is tremendous. So I have no other choice other than including this aspect into this lesson. What you need to do? Set yourself a goal and determine an appropriate reward once the objective is accomplished. It's that simple and effective. By rewarding yourself whenever a goal is achieved, your brain sends positive emotions, leading to the realization that an effort results in a positive reward. You will consciously or subconsciously recognize that a high effort will result in an even more positive gratification. You start linking hard work with a gratification, with a reward, with a prize. You will associate upcoming challenges and necessary efforts to reach a goal as another chance to get rewarded, positive emotions. So you increase your motivation to study, which allows you to maintain your motivation at a high level until the objective is accomplished. Also, your willingness to make an effort, such as studying, to achieve the goal, an excellent grade, will raise when having a reward in mind that you have desired for a long time. Never stop learning. It's crucial that you do not reward yourself if you fail. If you are not able to reach the objective as determined, you would not get a reward. Furthermore, the reward should be received once the goal is reached, not any time before this. Here are some important tips for rewarding yourself to become motivated to study. Set a goal and determine an important reward for its accomplishment. Associate the efforts you take with the positive reward. Ambitious challenges require outstanding rewards. Basic objectives should only be rewarded slightly. Do not allow yourself to receive a reward if you fail, and reward yourself subsequently after achieving the goal. Just do it and start studying. Whenever you feel a lack of motivation to get started with studying, there are a dozen other activities that sound by far more interesting than studying. Sometimes you would rather watch TV, the new movie that came to the cinema, listen to music or hang out with your friends. The simple trick to overcome this dilemma is just to get going. Start studying no matter what. Boost yourself to begin with studying, regardless of if you feel tired or if the teaching material isn't interesting at all. You might have to force yourself, but it is worth it. Forcing yourself will allow you to free your mind from all kinds of negative thoughts about being lazy or lacking the right motivation. Basically, instead of wasting significant time worrying about being unenthusiastic and lazy, you take action instead. You will notice that once you are getting started just for a couple of minutes, time will fly by and you will get used to your tasks. Once you go into the habit of studying, it will feel just natural after a while to remain on your tasks for longer periods of time. Here are some tips to get started with studying. First, force yourself to do 15 to 20 minutes of studying for now. Don't agonize yourself by picturing the alternatives to studying. Try not to procrastinate. The more you focus on your task, the faster you are finished. Imagine the negative consequences of prolonging studying. If you are tired, get up and jump on the spot. Take a shower. And finally, prevent any distraction, such as email, telephone, smartphone, TV, internet, even friends, for a limited time. university. Focus on the higher purpose of your education, getting enrolled in your favorite college or university, earning a door-opening degree, or being recruited by the top employer you ever dreamed of. If you want to succeed in life bad enough, some lack of motivation to study will not be a difficult obstacle to overcome, will it? Here are some tips to increase your desire to succeed. Find out the reason you are studying. What is your driving desire to succeed in school, college, or university? Where do you want to be after finishing your education? It always seems impossible until it is done. The next tip, have a positive approach. Your attitudes and mindsets about university or college can have a huge impact on your motivation. Having a mindset like, university is a place where I face daily anxieties and get mentally tortured by all my teachers, is not helpful and will not help you get motivated. But if you have a positive attitude towards your studies, for example, you see university or college as a chance to gain valuable knowledge, to develop yourself and to get ready to start your career, you'll be able to boost motivation just by having a positive attitude towards it. The next tip, negative feelings can kill your motivation. You'll be confronted with your studies every once in a while with negative emotions such as anger, anxiety or disappointment. These emotions can decrease your motivation drastically, which means you'll begin to lack drive with negative results for your studies. My tip for you is not to waste your precious time and energy on negative feelings or emotions and attitudes towards your teachers, your colleagues, or situations you neither can change nor control. A lot of teachers can be a real pain. The constant pressure to perform or the lack of social skills of some can be very frustrating. However, you are not able to change them, so that anger would be an unnecessary and inefficient reaction towards their behavior. Pay your negative behavior back with excellent marks instead. Anything else is against your productivity. The payback attitude is also an interesting method for those who want to transform their negative emotions into even more motivation to study. Next tip, have a genuine interest. Another very useful motivational element that helps you get motivated to study is your interest in the subject, real interest. If you can develop a genuine interest in what you are studying, it will help you in becoming very motivated. If you know the difference between a task you dislike and an assignment you enjoy, you will understand me. Here are some tips to become truly interested in studying. Get curious about the subject. Read interesting books, magazines, or articles on the topic. Team up with others that are interested in the subject. And the last tip to increase your motivation for learning. Beat procrastination and distraction. Procrastination or any kinds of distraction can have a negative influence on your ability to get motivated to study in general. Therefore, it is important that you create a space to study where you do not get distracted by any means. Just by sitting in a room where you cannot procrastinate or distract yourself will help you to get started with your studies. Cut out any distraction, TV, radio, mobile phone, the internet, telephone, etc. that could interrupt you while studying. Don't complain, just work harder. So, in this lesson, you've learned some important tips on increasing your motivation for your studies. First, the motivational power of having a goal. Next, gratification, reward yourself. Just do it and start studying. Take one step at a time and avoid postponing. Listen to motivational music. Ask yourself, how bad do you want to succeed? Have a positive approach toward your studying. Remember that negative feelings can kill your motivation. Have a genuine interest. And finally, beat procrastination and distraction.